Well, it's somehow been 20 years since the launch of the Xbox 360 in 2005. I jumped into the system 2 years later in around September or October of 2007. So a couple of years after the initial launch of the Xbox 360. But there were a few factors that were pushing me in that direction. First off, there were two games that I absolutely had to get an Xbox 360 to be able to play. And there was another console that had, at this point, to be perfectly honest, spat in my face as a gamer, left me behind, and was moving on to a different kind of audience, which I definitely was not a part of. So I needed a new gaming home to go to. My computer at the time, our family PC, I was playing a few games over there, some RTS games, really Counter-Strike Source, Half-Life 2, these sorts of games. But the family PC, in of course the old traditional mid 2000s style shelving unit, you guys all know what I'm talking about, of course, that was not going to be up to the challenge of the next generation of games that were being released on the Xbox 360. So it was time to make a change. So in this video, I want to talk about my development through the Xbox 360 era, and also some of the things that really made this console great and really made it special. I know there are a lot of other videos doing that at the moment, so we're going to try and do a little bit of a balance of both things here. I'm Shooter. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to my channel. I'm a brand new content creator here on YouTube in 2025, and I'm trying to bring a real passion for gaming back to content creation. Not clickbait, not farming views, not just doing it for the clicks and for the likes and for the follows, but because I actually want to share my passion for this hobby with the world, and hopefully we can make a little community here of like-minded people that genuinely care about the future of this industry and don't just see it as some cash cow to be milked basically until our wallets run dry, which is really where the industry has gone over, I would say, the past probably over a decade at this point. But back with the Xbox 360, that really wasn't the case. The Xbox 360 really was a pure gaming console, at least when it launched. And I remember first hearing about the 360 pretty shortly after its launch in the United Kingdom. I now live in the United States. Some of you may know that from my prior videos. But yeah, I remember hearing about it, I want to say in the January or February of 2006 after launch, when some of my classmates in school at the time had gotten the system for Christmas. And they were coming back into the classroom and they were talking about it and they were excited about it and they were sharing their experiences with the system. However, I was patiently, anxiously waiting for Nintendo's successor to the GameCube. And what did we get as a successor to the Nintendo GameCube? Well, none other than the Nintendo Wii, which, to be perfectly honest, to hardcore gamers, to people that really have a passion for gaming itself as a hobby, as something to really pursue, the Nintendo Wii was quite literally a slap in our faces. Yes, you got a few good games on the Wii. Twilight Princess, Mario Galaxy. But for the most part, this system really was a joke. And I was now reaching the point in my life, 15, 16 years old, where I was getting really sick and tired of Nintendo and what they were choosing to focus on. And they were clearly going in a hyper casual direction. So I'm stuck waiting for the Nintendo Wii. I eventually get it. Like I said, it's mostly a disaster. I think I fell out of playing it probably after about 6 months or so, to be perfectly honest. Then jump back into PC, jump back on Counter-Strike for a few months. And then I start paying more attention to the Xbox 360. Again, people are talking more and more about it. They're talking about Oblivion. They're talking about Ghost Recon, Advanced Warfighter, and playing it online. And I'm sitting there like, why am I still waiting on Nintendo to do something here? It's time to move. It's time to move into the Xbox 360. What does that system have to offer? And I remember turning on I think it was a channel like Bravo or something back in the United Kingdom. The American equivalent would probably have been something like Spike TV. And on Bravo, they had this gaming show. I think that, again, there were American equivalents of those as well, gaming TV shows. Um, Much like YouTube content creation today, but actual TV shows that were produced by networks and aired on television. And they were showing a particular 360 game on this show that, to be perfectly honest, made me immediately want to jump out of the nearest window and run and buy an Xbox 360. And that game was Gears of War. Yes, the original Gears of War on Xbox 360. That game was so revolutionary in so many ways. The graphics, the gameplay, the sound, the third person perspective, the movement system that that game enabled, the storytelling throughout the campaign, the co-op nature, the online multiplayer that that game had. And this show that I was watching, I think it was a preview because they were showing some of the story and everything, and how the levels would play out in the campaign. But they also showed the multiplayer off. And that looked like nothing I'd ever seen in my life. I mean, the third person perspective, the rapid movement, the kind of crouch sprinting, the bouncing off the walls, the shotgun, the frag grenades, the explosions, the body parts going everywhere, the gore, and just how fantastic that all of these levels looked, how realistic it looked, the vibe of that game. And as, again, a Nintendo kid growing up, as a young child, then an early teen, and then, like I said, by the time you're 15, 16, you're looking for something more mature. This just hit me at such the right time that there was no going back after being exposed to Gears of War. And then something else was announced. Something else started to make headlines, which wasn't going to be an Xbox 360 exclusive, but it was going to be on the 360, and it was certainly not going to run on my parents' home desktop PC. And that was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now, I have always been super into the modern warfare vibe, the modern warfare genre, if you want, in terms of games, movies, TV shows. I mean, James Bond, Jason Bourne, The Unit, Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, all this sort of stuff. COD 4 was offering me all of that to a level that, of course, we had never seen before. I mean, absolutely, completely not possible on the prior generations. The gunplay, the smoke effects, the lighting, the sound, how that game played, the level design, the campaign, the storyline, all of the missions, the sniping mission in that game, of course, completely changed our view on what an FPS could be and really solidified Call of Duty in the direction that it's still really in to this very day. Of course, they've gone off the rails in a lot of ways, which I discussed in my prior video, but it was COD 4. Gears of War and COD 4. I had to get a console for these two games. And I think I got it before COD 4 launched, because I got it with Gears of War and Blue Dragon, and I think there was another game as well. I'll have to go back and look at my achievements. We may do a video on that at some point. We'll go through the history of an Xbox 360 player's achievements and see what I was playing way back in the day. And we'll get to a stack of games here, of course, in the video here too. But yeah, Gears of War, and I remember playing it. I mean, yeah, just instantly blown away. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible, met every expectation, jumped online, Xbox Live Gold, achievements. I mean, achievements? What is this? What is this amazing new way to interact with my games, to build a gaming history, to be able to look back and say, yeah, look what I did, look what I accomplished. Unfortunately, the achievements program at Microsoft and Xbox has kind of been forgotten. I mean, they haven't really done anything with that for a very long time. I think that's a complete missed opportunity. And I was also, of my friend group, my close friend group, I was the first one to also get an Xbox 360. And I remember excitedly going and reporting to them that, hey, you guys, I've done it. I've jumped in. I've gone into the Xbox 360. I would love for you guys to come over. Have you written your Christmas list yet? Maybe you should get to your parents that you want an Xbox 360 and you can come and play with me online this Christmas. And They all did. They all did. All one, two, three, all three of them. They got an Xbox 360. And I think at least two of them got it that Christmas after I got mine. It was becoming the default place to play games. Um, and then, of course, as the life of the Xbox 360 went on, you get other games, of course. A couple here I want to quickly mention. Um, Halo, of course, Master Chief Collection here. Um, I have never been the biggest Halo fan in the world, but I have come to really love and appreciate these games. And I do actually have a copy of Halo 1 and Halo 2 from the original Xbox that I played on my Xbox 360 because, of course, it was backwards compatible with those games. So it was a great opportunity for me as a GameCube kid to go and experience Halo and Halo 2 for the very first time. And I did really like them a lot. And like I said, I've really grown to love that franchise more and more and more as the years have gone on. And to this day, I still play at least one of the first three campaigns through every year. I did Combat Evolved this year. So yeah, Halo, of course. And then there was another big Xbox 360 game, which was really catching my eye, really something that I knew I had to play. And I think this actually may have been out at the time I got my 360. I'm not sure, or it may have been coming out. Dead Rising. I remember seeing magazines, Xbox magazines, gaming magazines on the shelf with all of these hordes of zombies on the cover talking about this game and the level of technical achievement that was being achieved in here. And yeah, I mean, this again was a true next generation experience. Would not have been possible on the prior systems. Wouldn't have been possible on the original Xbox, the PS2, the GameCube. Really pushed the boundaries of the system. Absolutely incredible. Um, and then, of course, let's talk about some of the other things the Xbox 360 really did right. Let's start with the controller. I mean, that controller, in many ways, I would say is absolutely perfect. And in many ways, it's still pretty much what we're playing with here today. I mean, they have not really changed it too much. The handles have got a bit of a shift in terms of form factor. This controller is very, very, very comfortable, of course, as you all know. But yeah, it really hasn't evolved much from the era of the Xbox 360. That controller was a true game changer. Then you got Xbox Live, of course, came in with the original Xbox. But for me, again, remember, being a GameCube kid, yeah, I had some PC online experience with Counter-Strike and Battlefield 2. Um, but being able to do that on console, that was mind-blowing. Again, I always have considered myself a console gamer before a PC gamer. Dabbled with the PC world, but always been a console gamer at heart. So now that I could go back into the world of consoles and get the online experience that I was having on PC, best of both worlds coming together, boom, and there you have it. Like I said to you guys in prior videos, I've made lifelong friends on Xbox Live. We've all met in person, of course. I'm sure you guys have done the same thing. And to be perfectly honest, I should probably start getting into some more public lobbies and talking to more people online again. Kind of falling out of doing that over recent years, and you never know again who you're going to meet, who you're going to end up making real legitimate friendships with over gaming. I mean, it's really incredible what we've been able to do here. Something else that I think is worth mentioning on the Xbox 360, the dashboard. I mean, the blades. When I got the system, I think had the blades for a year because I got it in, like I said, late 2007. I think it's in late 2008 when they bring in the new Xbox experience, the avatars, the little squares that shuffle up and down and then side to side. Not a terrible dashboard, but the blades, like I think most early Xbox 360 gamers, really have a special place in my heart. I mean, such just a snappy system, clearly made for gaming, clearly made to prioritize games. And then, oh my God, you turn on an Xbox Series today, you're bombarded with ads and sponsored content and recommendations and buy this and buy that. I mean, can we not just enjoy the game? I mean, just can we not just do that? So the blades, they just get that right from the very beginning. It would be awesome for Xbox to go and create some Blade style dashboard for the series today, but let's be honest, everyone, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to do anything like that at this point. I mean, that ship has well and truly sailed. And when you do look at the decline from Xbox 360 to today, there are, of course, some big ticket items here. I think the one that doesn't get talked about enough is the Kinect. I had pre-ordered a Kinect for the Xbox 360. I thought how it was originally presented sounded pretty interesting. Sounded like it could have actually added something to our gaming experience on 360. But then as it was getting closer and closer and closer to launch, um yeah, I had kind of seen enough to make up my mind that this was just going to go in the direction of the Nintendo Wii. And where did we start this discussion? With the fact that the Nintendo Wii was quite literally a slap in my face as a hardcore Nintendo gamer. They were going in a completely different, casualized direction. And oh no, what do you know? Turns out that's what Xbox was doing as well. So yeah, I think that was really the big warning light that we all should have seen. The Xbox was starting to go down the wrong path. They were starting to get a little bit too big for their boots, and then yeah, we know where that went. You got the three rings of death problem, of course. I had at least one console that red ringed on me. I think I may have had two. I definitely had one that red ringed. And then I got, what was it? The Xbox 360 S, that redesigned version, which has been perfect. And that's the Xbox 360 that still exists in my parents' attic across the pond to this very day. Need to dig that out at some point and get that set up and rocking and rolling. So yeah, that's again a problem, but they fixed it, right? The Xbox team, they went to Steve Ballmer and they got him to essentially write a blank check and fix the problem. And someone actually commented this on one of my early videos on this channel. The fact that that did not sink the entire Xbox brand, that people still kept buying consoles, still kept subscribing to Xbox Live, still kept coming back to Xbox, is testament to the fact that they actually created something really, really special with this console. And people were willing to suffer literally dead consoles, useless hardware, to get back in the game. That's what they created here. That's how special of a system, how special of an environment the Xbox 360 really was. So again, to look at that and to look at what we've got today, I mean, it's a truly sad state of affairs. Let's take a look at this stack of games here. This is a stack of games that are just really a few that I've got on the shelf at the moment. These are all backwards compatible games that work on the Xbox Series X. And they are all games that I played on the original Xbox 360. Liked them all to varying degrees. In fact, I tell a lie, there's one in here which I did not play on the original 360. Let's leave that one till last. But the rest of them, I all did. Um, this is a little interesting selection of games. Let's see what you guys think of this. Hawks, Tom Clancy's Hawks. And none of these are actually going to be exclusives either. But the Xbox 360, we know, came to be the place to play third-party games because games ran better on the 360 than the PS3, generally, for the most part. Hawks, Ubisoft game. Arcadey, jet fighting game. Really fun. But can you imagine a company like Ubisoft, EA, Take-Two, making a game like this today? I mean, it's never going to happen. Never going to happen. This was still the era where big companies like Ubisoft, like EA, like Take-Two even, were willing to take risks and produce somewhat niche games like this, and they could do it well. And you had a massive variety of games as a result, much like you did in the prior generation. So Hawks, fun one, backwards compatible, very cheap if you want to pick that up. Red Dead Redemption. Need I say more? I mean, a truly immense gaming experience on the 360. Lots of people really still hold this game in a high regard to this very day. I'm one of them. You can get it on the Xbox Store, I believe, but I don't think it ever really goes on sale. I dug this out of my parents' attic while I was home over the summer. Next up, Left 4 Dead. I mean, absolutely incredible game. Really helped to solidify the co-op multiplayer genre in this generation. Spawned lots of clones, but nothing ever really came close to this. You can no longer buy this on the Xbox 360 marketplace because that's shut down, and you can't buy it on the Xbox Series X store either. Valve, fix that. Fix that. People should be able to buy and play this game on the Xbox Series X to this day. There's no reason why you can't spend a couple of weeks putting your lawyers on the case, getting the rights figured out, making this game available for sale. Same for this, Left 4 Dead 2. Did anything improve on the first game? Yeah, probably Left 4 Dead 2. Few additional mechanics, new maps, new zombies. Excellent. More of where they left off. How about a multiplayer experience that I don't think gets enough credit for what it did in this generation? Battlefield Bad Company 1 and 2. I think I've got 2 digitally. This game, I mean, I played this probably at least as much as I played COD 4, which, like I said in my prior video, was a hell of a lot, all the way to 10th Prestige, all the way through the end of that. This game is an incredible online experience. This game gave us Rush mode, which today we continue to enjoy in this Battlefield 6. 24 players online, 12 aside, attackers, defenders, a little bit of conquest in there. Insane. The tactical destruction, as they put it on the back of the case, blow up your environment to create vantage points and alter the course of battle. Insane. You can blow walls out of buildings. You can just blow things up and go where you want and create new opportunities. Incredible. Incredible, complete game changer. Great customization in here as well. Took a lot of pages out of COD 4's book. I think in that regard, the Frostbite engine. I believe this is where it really gets its start. The Frostbite engine in the Bad Company games. The audio, which again they mention on the back here. Yeah, the audio in this game, fantastic. The audio in the Battlefield games does not get enough credit. This game is incredible, and this game has one of the best Battlefield maps that has never made a comeback, but absolutely needs to. That is Oasis. Absolutely 10 out of 10 map. It follows you down a river. You go all the way around this river. It's incredible. The attackers have an attack helicopter. Me and a good friend of mine spent a lot of hours in that attack helicopter, hovering around, blowing people up in the defender's base, and keeping that chopper alive for as long as we possibly could. Incredible memories on that game. Yeah, you love to see Battlefield kind of getting back to that in some ways with this. But, DICE, we want Oasis. Bring back Oasis. Final game. Black Ops. The original Black Ops. Like I said in my prior video, really not a big fan of the multiplayer in this game, to be perfectly honest. But the single player in this game, I kind of like a lot. The whole Cold War espionage story they had going on in here. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm into. That whole modern warfare vibe. And here's another one. This game, like I said, I had never played this on the original 360. I'd heard about it, of course, never played it at the time. You know, it just happens. But one day, I want to say this year, I was going through the backwards compatibility list, just again, seeing if there's anything on there that I haven't played that sounds like I need to play. This was one of them. First Encounter Assault Recon Fear. This game is insane. This game isn't really what I was expecting it to be. I was expecting it to be more of a horror game. It's really just more of an FPS shooter with some horror elements. But the things this game does, again, with environmental destruction, environmental effects, environmental storytelling, sound effects, lighting effects, absolutely incredible. And in fact, I completed this a couple months back. I want to say in around August, September time. I took quite a few gameplay clips of this video. I may do a review of this game. If you've not played this, you need to play it. It's so good. So good. I don't think it's available on the Series X store, unfortunately, but um, you need to play this game. Um, it's absolutely incredible. I'd give that a solid, I'd say 8.5 out of 10, maybe 9 out of 10. Great. So yeah, I think that probably about does it here, you guys. I mean, the Xbox 360. I mean, it's a time, it's an era when you look back at it and it's like, wow, did we really give that up? Did we really move on from that into this era of TV, sports? You all know what I'm talking about the Xbox One reveal, of course. Um, I mean, microtransactions, live service games, everything's got to be Fortnite, everything's got to be PUBG. I mean, the industry has lost its way. It really has lost its way. There are a few teams out there now, of course, we know, doing great things, but there aren't enough of them. And I really think we need to look back to consoles like the Xbox 360 and use them as a blueprint for where to go next. Every game doesn't need to cost $100 million. Every game doesn't need to be 100 hours long. Every game doesn't need to be Fortnite. It's really not hard. Subscribe if you're new here. Leave me your comments below. What are your thoughts and memories with the Xbox 360? Would love to hear them. And yeah, I'll be back with more real soon, everyone. There's plenty going on in the industry right now. And I think the next video, we may talk about just how many copies this game has sold, which turns out to be an incredible number.